I'm Ant from 30 Day Trials, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about my personal experiences with GH. I'm going to give you a quick introduction to GH. I'm going to talk about my experiences over the last 30 days, and then I'm going to give you some tips at the end on how you can boost your natural levels of GH. Alright, let's get to it. GH, or growth hormone, is a small protein produced by the pituitary gland in the brain. As the name suggests, this hormone spurs growth primarily in children and adolescents. It also helps to regulate body composition, body fluids, muscle and bone growth, sugar and fat metabolism, and it is also thought to regulate heart function. Synthetic growth hormone was developed in 1985, and typical use cases include treating short stature and poor growth in children. In adults, HGH is typically used for short bowel syndrome, GH deficiency, and muscle wasting diseases. The body's natural production of GH naturally decreases with age, and it is thought by some that by taking synthetic doses of GH as they get older will help them to slow down the effects of aging. Natural production of GH occurs in bursts throughout the day, with the highest rise in levels following exercise, trauma, and sleep. Under normal conditions, your greatest spike occurs at night. The benefits of GH for adults include protection from fractures, increased muscle mass, improved exercise capacity and energy, and a reduced risk of future heart disease. So, there were three main things that I experienced while taking GH for 30 days. First was a strong libido. I did notice over the last 30 days a significantly stronger libido. This makes sense because GH is known to increase the body's natural production of testosterone in men. If you're a man, you'll appreciate that. I started the trial weighing just over 82 kilos, and by the end of the 30 days, I had dropped down to a weight of 81.5 kilos. This may not seem significant, but when you look at the before and after pictures, you can tell that I gained muscle at the same time. This is incredible considering all the gyms have been closed due to the COVID pandemic, and the majority of my exercises have now shifted to calisthenics. I can only imagine how much more progress I would have made if the gyms were open and I was able to push myself to greater limits. The third thing that I noticed was I got good sleep. I monitored my heart rate during sleep to see if HGH was having any effect on it, and as you can see, it did. Before I started taking HGH, my heart rate at bedtime would slowly reduce, with the lowest level being experienced not long before waking. However, as I started taking GH, my heart rate dropped almost immediately at bedtime and stayed quite steady all the way through the night. This slow and steady heart rate is also a sign of low restlessness, and it is important to have undisturbed sleep. Here are 4 tips on how you can boost your natural levels of GH. High intensity exercise. All forms of exercise have a GH boosting effect, but the highest increases are experienced when performing high intensity exercises. Exercise also promotes fat loss, which is tip number 2. High levels of body fat are strongly linked to low GH production. One study found that losing fat around the midsection led to a significant boost in GH levels in the study participants. Losing body fat is strongly related to diet, which leads us to tip number 3. Eat the right foods at the right times. There are a number of foods that are documented to be the best at boosting GH, and they are eggs, fish, tomatoes, nuts, grapes, raspberries, and pomegranates. High carbohydrate foods such as white bread and sugar tend to spike insulin, which has shown to have a negative effect on GH production. It is for this reason that you should not be eating high carb foods shortly before bed. Try to keep your last meal 2 or more hours before bed. Studies have shown that GH levels increase by about 300% when you fast for 3 days and up to 1,250% after a week. Many people have praised the positive effects of intermittent fasting, and is something worth reading up on if you want to boost your natural HGH production. There you have it, guys. If you got any questions, just hit me up in the comment section below. And make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see what I do on my next 30-day trial. Until next time, keep growing.